Flight attendant kicked a black CEO's suitcase. 3 minutes later, she was fired on the spot. Before we start today's story, comment below where you're watching from and hit subscribe if you haven't already. You won't want to miss what's next. Listen here, you street trash. First class isn't for people like you. Emily Cross's mean voice slices through the air at gate 27 like a knife. Her words are sharp, angry, and loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. Without warning, she kicks Naomi Carter's shiny black suitcase with her high heel. The heavy bag bursts open, and clothes, papers, and shiny gadgets spill across the airport floor like a small explosion. Naomi stops moving. For a moment, she doesn't even breathe. Her black blazer wrinkles as she bends down slightly, staring at the mess in front of her. Around her, people gasp and whisper. Some pull out their phones to record what's happening. The bright airport lights reflect off the floor, and everything feels frozen in time. Emily stands tall and proud, with a cruel smile spreading across her face. Her blonde hair shines under the lights, her red lipstick perfect and cold. The metal badge on her uniform catches the light as she folds her arms across her chest. She looks like she's enjoying this moment. Maybe next time you'll know your place, she says, her voice filled with poison. Naomi looks up at her. Her dark brown eyes stay calm and strong. She doesn't cry. She doesn't shout. Instead, she kneels down quietly and starts to pick up her things with slow, careful hands. The people watching don't move. Some are shocked, some are angry, but no one steps forward yet. They can all feel it. This flight attendant just made the biggest mistake of her career. The Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport buzzes with morning life. It's Tuesday, and Terminal C is full of travelers. The sound of rolling suitcases, loudspeaker announcements, and coffee machines fills the air. The smell of espresso mixes with airplane fuel and perfume. People in business suits rush past, sipping hot coffee and checking their phones for messages. Flight 1847 to Seattle waits at gate 27, gleaming silver in the sunlight that pours through tall glass windows. The big airplane, a Boeing 737, looks powerful and important. To most people, it's just a way to travel. But to companies, it means millions of dollars, partnerships, and big deals. Naomi Carter walks through the busy terminal like someone who belongs there. Her red-bottom Louboutin heels make soft clicking sounds on the shiny marble floor. She walks tall and confident, her black hair smooth and perfect. When she reaches the counter, the agent smiles brightly. "Good morning, Miss Carter. Your usual seat in 2A is ready." Naomi returns the smile. She gives the agent her platinum card. Every move she makes is calm, careful, and kind. At 38 years old, she's a successful business leader. She's worked hard for everything she has. Behind her glasses, her sharp eyes scan the documents on her tablet, plans and numbers for an important meeting. Her company, Carter Aerospace Solutions, has spent 3 long years working on a huge project. Today is the day it all comes together. In just a few hours, her meeting in Seattle will announce a $500 million partnership. It's a deal that will change how airplanes stay safe in the sky. Her phone buzzes over and over. "Naomi, the Times wants a quote." "Miss Carter, when can we schedule the investor call?" Each message means more work, more responsibility, and more success. But Naomi silences her phone. She focuses on the world around her. Years of traveling have taught her to watch people, to sense trouble before it starts. Across the room, another woman adjusts her uniform for the 3rd time. Emily Cross stands behind the gate desk. Her blonde hair is pulled back tightly. Her face looks hard and tired, with eyes that rarely smile. After 8 years as a flight attendant, she acts like she owns the place. Emily doesn't see all passengers as equal. She watches the first-class area like it's her private kingdom. She believes that only people who look like her deserve to sit there. She has gone to company lessons about fairness and diversity, but she hated every one of them. The warnings in her work file don't scare her. She believes she can do whatever she wants. On her phone, she shares secret jokes and pictures with her close friends. Mean things about people she doesn't like. She hides her true thoughts at work, but they are always bubbling just under the surface. In the airplane's cockpit, Captain Daniel studies his passenger list. After 23 years of flying, he's seen everything. He knows when tension is in the air. His crew is diverse and kind, but he also knows that sometimes people still carry hidden hate. Megan Cole, the junior flight attendant, is busy setting up the service trays. She's young and nervous. This is only her second month on the job. She's already noticed that Emily makes cruel jokes about some passengers. She treats them unfairly, and Megan hates it. But she stays silent. She needs the job. Student loans and family bills weigh on her shoulders. In first class, everything sparkles. The leather seats shine, the lights glow softly, and the air smells fresh and expensive. Emily calls herself the guardian of this place. She memorizes names and faces from the list and judges them instantly. Mr. Daniels, a white banker in seat 1B, gets a big smile and kind words. The elderly Korean couple in row 3 get a cold glance and short answers. When Emily sees the name Naomi Carter in 2A, she frowns. She imagines someone who doesn't belong there, someone who got lucky or cheated their way in. The loudspeaker crackles to life. We now welcome our premium passengers for Flight 1847 to Seattle. Naomi closes her tablet, smooths her blazer, and stands. Inside her briefcase are the papers that will shape the future of air travel. But she doesn't act proud. She smiles politely and joins the line. She believes kindness opens more doors than anger ever could. The first class line is filled with people who look important. Tech executives, oil bosses, scientists, and lawyers. All of them are headed to Seattle for meetings and deals. Emily stands at the airplane door like a guard. Her blue eyes track Naomi's every move. Naomi steps forward with a kind smile. "Good morning," she says, handing over her boarding pass. Emily holds the pass too long. Her fingers press into the paper as she pretends to check it. Her voice sounds fake sweet but full of hidden anger. "Ma'am, are you sure you're in the right line? This line is for real first-class passengers." The word real hangs in the air like a bad smell. People in line shift uncomfortably. Naomi's eyebrows lift a little, but her voice stays calm. "Yes, I'm sure. Seat 2A. Emily gives her the pass back slowly, smiling in a cruel way so everyone can see. "Sometimes people get confused about what class they actually bought," she says loudly. "It happens a lot with certain types of passengers." The insult is clear, even if she doesn't say it directly. Some passengers look away, embarrassed. Others frown. Naomi says nothing. She walks quietly into the plane. Inside, the cabin glows with soft light and smells of flowers and new leather. Naomi lifts her black suitcase toward the overhead bin. The bag is heavy. It holds documents and electronic parts from her company's latest project. Emily appears beside her suddenly, her heels clicking sharply. "Excuse me," she says, voice like broken glass. "That doesn't belong there." Naomi pauses. "I'm sorry. These bins are for first-class passengers who actually paid for their seats," Emily says coldly. "Maybe you'd prefer to keep your bag in the back with your kind." The cruel words make the air feel heavy. People stop moving. Heads turn. The businessman in seat 1C lowers his newspaper. The old woman in 3A stares. Everyone knows they're seeing something wrong. Naomi grips her suitcase tightly. "This is my seat, 2A. I have every right to use this bin." Emily's voice rises, sharp and loud. "I don't know whose credit card you stole to buy that ticket, but I'm responsible for keeping this cabin secure. Money can't buy class." Naomi's hands tremble slightly, but she keeps her calm tone. "I'd like to speak with your supervisor, please." Emily sneers. "I am the senior flight attendant." She steps closer, the smell of strong perfume and anger filling the air. "And I'm telling you, you and your cheap luggage don't belong up here with decent people." Mr. Daniels in 1B lowers his Wall Street Journal. "Excuse me," he says firmly. "This is completely out of line." Emily spins on him, angry now. "Sir, I'm handling a security issue. This woman may have used fake documents to get on board." "She showed you her ticket," Mr. Daniels replies. "What more proof do you need?" Emily laughs bitterly. Anyone can fake a boarding pass these days. Look at her. Does she look like someone who can afford an $1,800 seat? Please. She's probably using stolen money. Her words fill the cabin with ugly silence. Megan Cole, watching from the galley, feels her heart pound. She wants to shout, but fear keeps her quiet. Then it happens. Emily lifts her polished shoe and kicks Naomi's suitcase hard. The loud thud echoes through the cabin. The bag crashes to the floor, bursting open again. Papers, small devices, and personal things scatter across the carpet. Gasps fill the air. A man drops his newspaper. An old woman covers her mouth. Phones rise in hands. Cameras already recording every second. Maybe next time you'll stay in the back where you belong, Emily hisses. Naomi kneels down. Her fingers tremble as she gathers her papers, blueprints and plans worth millions of dollars. She doesn't yell. She doesn't cry. She stays calm, her movements careful and graceful. The airplane is silent now except for the soft rustle of paper and the clicking sounds of people's phones capturing what everyone knows will soon be all over the internet. Emily's cruel smile fades as she realizes too late. She's the one who doesn't belong anymore. Naomi's fancy blue blazer gets wrinkled when she bends down to pick up her things, but she still moves slowly and carefully. She acts calm and polite, even though the way she is being treated is very wrong. "This is completely unacceptable," shouts Mr. Daniels, his voice strong and full of anger. "I've flown in first class for 15 years, and I have never seen anyone treated so badly or unfairly." Emily, the flight attendant, looks shocked and angry. She can't believe that someone like Mr. Daniels, someone rich and respected, is defending Naomi instead of agreeing with her. "Sir," Emily says stiffly, trying to sound professional, "I'm just following company rules for suspicious passengers." This woman's behavior and attitude show she doesn't belong in first class with proper travelers. "What suspicious behavior?" asks an old lady sitting in seat 3A. Her voice sounds sharp and angry. "That woman has been nothing but polite. You've been the one acting rude and terrible." Emily's fake smile disappears. Her voice turns cold and mean. "Her entire presence here is suspicious," she snaps. "Her clothes are too fancy for someone like her. She acts like she's rich and belongs here, but she doesn't. I can tell she's one of those people who only get chances because of diversity programs and special help." More and more passengers start lifting their phones, recording the argument. The video that will later spread online under the hashtag #FirstClassWhileBlackAndFemale is being filmed right now in this very moment. Naomi stands up slowly. She gathers her belongings, clutching them tightly to her chest. Everyone in first class looks at her, waiting to see what she will do or say. "I bought this ticket with my own money from my own bank account," Naomi says softly but clearly. Her voice is calm and steady. "I have every right to be here." Emily laughs, a cruel harsh sound that doesn't fit the fancy airplane cabin. "Your own money? Please," she says mockingly. "We all know how people like you get expensive things. Government help, special scholarships, maybe even stealing. I've seen every trick in the book." Megan Cole, another flight attendant, stands quietly in the galley. Her hands are gripping the metal counter so hard that her knuckles turn white. She knows Emily is being horribly racist, but she's afraid. She needs this job to survive, and she knows that if she speaks up, Emily might report her and get her fired. Emily turns back to Naomi and says loudly so everyone can hear, "Ma'am, I'm ordering you to move to economy class where you belong. If you refuse, I'll call airport security to have you removed. First class is for hard-working business travelers, not charity cases who are pretending to be rich." Naomi feels a deep sadness instead of anger. It's painful that this kind of hatred still exists in 2024. But she stays calm. "I'm not moving anywhere," she says. "I paid for this seat legally, and I'm staying right here." Emily's face turns red with fury. She grabs the airplane phone dramatically, making sure everyone can see her doing it. "Security to gate 27 immediately," she yells. "Code yellow. We have a dangerous passenger refusing crew instructions. Possible credit card fraud and identity theft." The cabin fills with whispers and gasps. People stare at Naomi in shock, but many keep recording on their phones. The older woman in 3A shakes her head sadly and starts typing on her phone. Then the pilot's voice comes over the speaker. "Ladies and gentlemen," says Captain Daniel, sounding calm but worried, "we are having a small delay as our crew handles a passenger issue. Thank you for your patience." Soon, the heavy sound of footsteps can be heard from the jet bridge. 2 airport security officers board the plane. Officer Allen, an experienced man with kind but serious eyes, walks in first. His partner, Officer Foster, follows behind him. Their radios buzz softly as they look around the tense cabin. "What seems to be the problem here?" Allen asks, scanning the faces in first class. Emily starts talking fast, pretending to be scared and upset. "Officers," she says dramatically, "this passenger has been aggressive since boarding. She's using a fake first-class ticket and attacked me when I tried to check her documents." Allen looks over at Naomi. She's sitting quietly in her seat, hands folded, her things neat beside her. She doesn't look angry or dangerous. She looks calm and strong. "Ma'am," Allen says politely, "can I see your ID and your boarding pass, please?" Naomi hands him her driver's license and ticket. She moves slowly and respectfully. "Naomi Carter, Seat 2A, Allen reads out loud. "Everything seems fine here." Emily interrupts, her voice shaky but still full of fake confidence. "Sir, you have to trust me. I've seen this kind of scam before. She doesn't fit in here. People like her steal cards and pretend to be rich." Officer Foster examines the documents again. He frowns. "Ma'am," he says, "these documents are completely real. What exactly did she do that was suspicious?" Emily's voice gets higher and wilder. Her entire presence. She yells. "Just look at her. Does she look like someone who belongs in first class? The way she walks, the way she talks, it's all fake. These people always try to sneak into places they don't belong." Mr. Daniels suddenly stands up. He's tall and serious, dressed in a nice business suit. "Officers," he says strongly, "I've watched this entire thing from the start. This flight attendant has been bullying this woman just because she's black. The passenger hasn't done a single thing wrong." "Sir, sit down," Emily snaps. "This doesn't concern you. Racism concerns everyone." Daniels replies loudly, "Your behavior is shameful and unprofessional." Now other passengers start speaking too. The old lady in 3A waves her phone. "I recorded everything," she shouts. She kicked the woman's bag and called her terrible names. A man in seat 1C adds, "Yeah, I heard her call the passenger a welfare queen. It was awful." Megan Cole finally finds her courage. She steps forward from the galley. Her voice trembles at first, but then she becomes stronger. "Officers," she says, "I saw and heard everything. Miss Cross, Emily, was mean and racist to this passenger. She kicked her luggage and said terrible things about her race." Emily whirls around angrily. "Megan, that's not true. You didn't see properly." "I was right here the whole time," Megan says firmly. "I heard every word you said." Allen asks to see the videos from passengers' phones. They show Emily being aggressive, kicking the luggage, and yelling ugly words. The recordings are clear. Everyone can hear the racism in her tone. Allen turns to Emily. "Ma'am, from what I can see and hear, you treated this passenger unfairly and in a discriminatory way." Emily starts to panic. "Officers, you don't understand. She's been threatening me since boarding. She said she'd sue me." "That's not true," Naomi says calmly. "I only asked to speak to a supervisor when she started harassing me about my race." Officer Foster flips through his notebook. "Miss Cross," he says, "many passengers and videos say you were the one causing the trouble. The passenger's documents are real, and she has been polite." Emily, desperate now, cries out, "I've worked for this airline for 8 years. No complaints. This woman must be running a scam, fake identity, stolen cards, criminal networks." The whole cabin goes quiet. Her words hang heavy in the air. Everyone can hear how racist they sound. Alan's face hardens. "Ma'am," he says firmly, "your accusations are based only on race, not on facts. That's not acceptable." Naomi's phone starts buzzing again. The screen shows Carter Aerospace board meeting and Delta Airlines emergency. She turns it off quietly, not wanting to make things worse. Emily sees this and points at her. "See? She's calling her criminal friends right now. You need to search her bags." "That's enough," Alan says sharply. "You've made serious accusations with no proof at all." He turns to Naomi. "Ma'am, thank you for staying calm. You've done nothing wrong." The other officer, Foster, steps forward. "Miss Cross, please gather your things and come with us. We'll be filing a report with your airline." Emily's mouth falls open. "What? You're taking me?" "Not her." Alan looks at her sternly. "We have video evidence and witness statements. Your behavior was unprofessional and discriminatory." As Emily is led off the plane, the passengers clap softly. Some look at Naomi with sympathy and respect. Mr. Daniels nods at her. The old lady in 3A pats her arm gently. Naomi sits back down, holding her bag close. She feels tired but proud that she stayed calm and dignified through everything. The captain comes over the speaker again. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We'll be departing shortly." As the plane finally takes off, Naomi looks out the window at the clouds. She feels a quiet sadness, but also a small hope that maybe, just maybe, the truth and kindness she saw from strangers mean the world can change after all. Captain Daniel appeared at the airplane cabin door. His pilot's uniform was perfectly neat, his posture straight and commanding. Everyone who saw him could tell he was the person in charge. His face looked calm on the surface, but behind his steady eyes was anger, controlled, professional anger. He had clearly been told something serious was happening, and now he could see for himself that the first-class cabin was full of tension and chaos. "What's the current situation here, officers?" he asked, his voice firm but controlled. Officer Allen stepped forward. His tone was steady and official. "Captain, we have a serious problem. One of your flight attendants has been accused of discrimination. We have multiple witnesses, and several passengers have video evidence. It appears that this passenger was treated unfairly because of her race." The captain's jaw tightened. He slowly turned his eyes toward Emily Cross, the senior flight attendant on duty. His face showed disappointment and disbelief. "Miss Cross," he said coldly, "please step off this aircraft immediately. You are suspended from all duties until a full investigation is completed." Emily froze. Her mouth opened slightly, but no words came out at first. Her mind spun in confusion. Everything she had built over 8 long years of airline service suddenly felt like it was crumbling. "Captain," she said finally, her voice rising, "you can't be serious. You're going to believe these people over one of your own crew members? I've worked for this airline for years. I was only trying to protect the airline's image and maintain first-class standards." Before anyone could answer, a loud ringtone cut through the air like a sharp blade. Everyone turned. The sound came from Naomi's phone. On the screen, in large bold letters, the caller ID read, "Delta Airlines Board of Directors." Naomi glanced at Captain Daniel apologetically. "I'm sorry, Captain," she said softly but firmly. "I really need to take this call. It's regarding today's board meeting." The captain gave a small nod. "Go ahead, ma'am." Emily looked confused. The board of directors? She thought. Why would someone like her be getting calls from them? Naomi answered her phone calmly, her voice polite yet confident. "Good morning, Richard," she said. "Yes, I'm on the aircraft right now, but we're experiencing a short delay." Her tone was clear and steady, the tone of someone used to speaking to powerful people. Passengers nearby began listening carefully. Something about her calm authority made them curious. Naomi continued, "The merger announcement is still scheduled for 2 o'clock Pacific time. Carter Aerospace has everything prepared for the partnership reveal." Captain Daniel froze in place. Carter Aerospace. The name struck him immediately. He was an experienced pilot. He knew that company very well. His mind started racing. Could it be possible? Could this woman sitting in first class be connected to Carter Aerospace? Naomi kept speaking as the captain's heart pounded. No, Richard. There will be no changes to the $500 million contract. Everything will go ahead as planned once I reach Seattle. Emily blinked in confusion. $500 million? She whispered to herself. What kind of passenger talks like that? The captain quickly pulled out his phone, his fingers trembling slightly as he typed Naomi Carter Aerospace. Within seconds, the search results appeared, and his face went pale. Forbes magazine. Naomi Carter named CEO of the Year for revolutionary aircraft safety innovation. Business Weekly. Carter Aerospace signs historic $500 million deal with major airlines. Aviation Today. Naomi Carter, the visionary leader transforming flight safety standards. There were photos, many photos, of the same woman sitting calmly before him, accepting awards, shaking hands with presidents, speaking at conferences, and signing major contracts. Emily looked more and more bewildered. She could hear bits of Naomi's conversation. Richard, please assure the board that today's announcement will establish Delta as the industry leader in next-generation safety technology. Captain Daniel could barely process what he was hearing. His training had prepared him for engine failures, bad weather, emergencies, but not this. He realized he had just witnessed his own crew mistreating one of the most powerful women in aviation. He walked toward Naomi's seat quickly but respectfully. Miss Carter, he said quietly but urgently, may I speak with you for a moment? If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe and share your favorite part in the comments below. And don't forget to drop a heart to show your support. Naomi looked up and nodded, placing her phone aside. Of course, Captain. He took a deep breath. Ma'am, I owe you a profound apology. I had no idea who you were when this situation began. Emily stepped forward, her voice shaky. Captain, what's going on? Captain Daniel turned sharply toward her. Miss Cross, he said with controlled anger. Do you have any idea who you just insulted? Emily blinked, her confidence gone. I don't understand, she stammered. This, the captain said, gesturing toward Naomi, is Naomi Carter, CEO of Carter Aerospace Solutions, the company that supplies critical safety systems for our entire fleet. The words hit Emily like thunder. She staggered back, reaching for her phone. With shaking fingers, she typed Naomi's name into the search bar. The results appeared, and her eyes widened in horror. Aerospace CEO Naomi Carter revolutionizes flight safety. Carter Industries, a $2.3 billion global empire built on innovation. Naomi Carter joins Delta Airlines Advisory Board for Diversity and Excellence. Her hands trembled. She scrolled through image after image. Naomi at award ceremonies, at the White House, with world leaders, with the very same airline executives Emily had spent years trying to impress. This can't be real, Emily whispered, her voice breaking. Leonard Daniels, a businessman seated nearby, stood up and smiled knowingly. I thought I recognized you, he said. You were on the cover of Business Weekly. Your story about breaking barriers in aerospace was truly inspiring. Murmurs spread throughout the cabin. Other passengers began whispering and pointing. Phones came out again, this time to record the revelation. Megan Cole, another flight attendant, gasped. You're Naomi Carter? You gave the speech at my aviation graduation last year. You talked about perseverance and excellence. Naomi nodded kindly. That's right, she said with a small smile. Her phone kept buzzing non-stop, calls from company executives, reporters, and government officials. Then the captain's radio crackled. Flight 1847, this is Operations Control. We're hearing about an incident involving Naomi Carter. Please confirm her status. Captain Daniel grabbed his radio. Operations, passenger Naomi Carter is safe and unharmed, he replied quickly. However, we have a serious crew disciplinary matter that requires immediate attention. Emily kept scrolling, her breathing shaky. The photos and headlines were endless. Naomi meeting presidents, receiving humanitarian awards, giving keynote speeches around the world. This can't be happening, Emily whispered weakly. Miss Cross, said Captain Daniel, his voice cold and precise, you just racially harassed and physically assaulted one of the most important business partners this airline has. Her company holds contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars with us. Emily's mouth fell open. She tried to speak, but no words came out. Naomi's phone rang again. This time the screen read Delta CEO, urgent. Naomi looked at the captain. Captain, this is probably your CEO calling about the partnership. Should I take it? He nodded slowly. Naomi answered. Hello, Richard. Yes, I'm on one of your aircraft right now, and we've had some interesting customer service challenges. The cabin was silent. Everyone could hear her side of the conversation. Emily sat down in an empty seat, her face pale and wet with tears. Her entire career, 8 years of loyal service, was collapsing. On the phone, the CEO's panicked voice came through the speaker. Miss Carter, please tell me our crew didn't actually assault you. The videos are already all over social media. I'm afraid they did, Naomi said gently but firmly. Your employee made multiple racist comments and even kicked my luggage, assuming I didn't belong in first class. Captain Daniel turned toward Emily. Miss Cross, he said with finality, remove your wings and hand over your identification badge. You're terminated immediately. Emily shook her head, tears streaming. Please, Captain, please. I made a mistake. I didn't know who she was. That's the problem, Daniel said coldly. A person's identity shouldn't matter. Every passenger deserves dignity and respect. Naomi spoke into her phone again, calm as ever. Richard, the problem isn't that your employee didn't recognize me. It's that she felt comfortable treating any passenger this way because of their skin color. Emily's trembling hands reached for her uniform pin. She dropped it once, then twice, before finally managing to hand it to the captain. Officer Allen approached with his tablet. Miss Carter, we'll need your statement for the record. Several passengers have video evidence supporting your account. Of course, Naomi said. I want to make sure this incident is properly documented so it never happens again. Emily cried harder. Miss Carter, I'm so sorry. Please, I didn't know. I have children. This job means everything to me. Naomi turned toward her, her voice calm but serious. Miss Cross, the issue isn't that you didn't know who I was. The issue is that you treated another human being badly just because of her race. I'm not racist, Emily said weakly. I just made assumptions. I was having a bad day. Naomi's expression softened slightly, but her voice stayed strong. Racism isn't just saying bad words or being openly hateful, she explained. It's assuming a black woman in first class doesn't belong there. It's kicking someone's luggage because you think they shouldn't be in your space. It's treating people differently because of what you think they are. Megan Cole stepped forward with Emily's bag. Emily, I've seen you treat passengers of color differently for months, she said quietly. Today, you went too far. The captain's radio buzzed again. Flight 1847, corporate security is en route to escort the terminated employee. Prepare for takeoff once the matter is settled. Naomi's phone rang one last time. The screen read Carter Aerospace Legal Department. She sighed lightly. Excuse me, she said, this is probably about the merger, or possibly legal steps regarding this incident. Emily's face went white. Legal action? Please, Miss Carter, I'll do anything. Don't ruin my life. Naomi answered calmly. Claire, yes, I'm aware the incident is trending online. Please coordinate our response with Delta's communications team. Leonard Daniels leaned forward. Miss Carter, I'm willing to give my statement if you decide to press charges. What happened here was unacceptable. Other passengers nodded in agreement. Naomi ended the call and turned back to Emily one final time. Her voice was calm, but full of meaning. Miss Cross, she said gently, I hope this moment helps you see your own biases and learn from them. Everyone deserves kindness, dignity, and respect, no matter the color of their skin or how rich they look. Emily didn't answer. She just sat there silent, as the reality of what she'd done sank in. Her career was over. Her world had fallen apart. And all because she couldn't see past her own prejudice. Corporate security officers stepped onto the airplane. They looked calm, serious, and professional. Their faces were steady, while Emily was crying and shaking. She wiped her tears, trying to collect her things. Everyone in the first-class cabin watched her silently. Nobody said a word. "Miss Cross, please come with us," said the lead officer kindly but firmly. "Human Resources needs to talk to you right now for an exit interview." Emily looked down. Her hands trembled as she picked up her purse. She walked slowly past Naomi's seat, her voice soft and weak. "I'm truly sorry for what I did to you," she whispered. Naomi looked at her with gentle eyes. "I forgive you," she said quietly. "But the real change happens when you look inside yourself and understand why you did it in the first place." Emily nodded, her eyes red. She followed the officers down the aisle. The airplane stayed quiet until she was gone. Then suddenly, people started clapping. The sound filled the cabin. Naomi lifted her hand to stop them. "Please," she said, "this isn't a time to celebrate. This isn't about someone losing their job. It's about learning to take responsibility for unfair behavior." The passengers nodded and became quiet again. Captain Daniel spoke through the speaker. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're sorry for the delay. We'll be leaving soon with our new lead flight attendant, Megan Cole." The airplane door closed with a loud click. That sound meant two things. Emily's career was over, and a new chance for fairness was beginning. 3 hours later, while the airplane was flying high above the clouds, Naomi's phone buzzed again and again. Notifications flashed on the screen. The story about what happened was everywhere. The hashtag first class while black and female had gone viral. Millions of people around the world were watching, reading, and sharing the video. Thousands of comments filled the internet, demanding justice and fairness. Then Captain Daniel came back on the speaker. "Miss Carter," he said carefully, "the airline CEO is on the phone. He would like to speak to you right now." Naomi took a deep breath and answered the call. Everyone sitting near her leaned forward, listening quietly. "Naomi," said the CEO, his voice shaking, "I just watched the video. Emily Cross has been fired right away. But we need to fix this properly. The company board is demanding emergency action." "Richard," Naomi said calmly, "firing her is only the beginning. You must fix the whole system that allowed this to happen." When the plane landed in Seattle, the news was already everywhere. CNN screen showed aerospace CEO racially profiled on airline, employee fired. Fox News reported viral video shows shocking airline discrimination. Naomi's lawyers, led by civil rights attorney Claire Patel, quickly filed a big lawsuit in federal court. They did it within 2 days. The lawsuit said Emily's bad actions were not just one mistake, they were part of a long, harmful pattern. "This case isn't just about one flight attendant," Patel told reporters. "It's about fixing a system that has treated travelers of color unfairly for years." The airline's human resources team began a deep investigation. Investigator Aaron Mitchell looked through 8 years of Emily's work files. What he found shocked everyone. There were 17 official complaints from passengers of color saying Emily was rude and unfair. She had been told to attend diversity and inclusion classes but never took them seriously. Her test scores showed she didn't try. Then they found her personal social media pages. She had posted rude and racist comments, thinking they were private. "How could we have missed this?" the CEO asked during an emergency meeting. There was clear evidence for years. The investigation grew even larger. The company checked Emily's managers and co-workers. They found emails showing that some crew members had made choices about which flights to work based on what types of passengers would be there. Megan Cole, now promoted to senior flight attendant, gave her own statement. Emily treated passengers of color differently. She gave them worse service. "I saw it myself, but I didn't report it. I regret that now." The company's diversity officer, Dr. Elaine Foster, reviewed the training programs. "Our training isn't enough," she said. "People complete it, but their hearts don't change. We need real understanding, not just checkboxes." Local news reporters in Dallas, where Emily lived, looked deeper into her past. They found out she had joined online groups that promoted racist ideas. Screenshots of her posts showed that she had made hurtful comments for years. "This shows a clear pattern of racial hatred," explained a TV legal expert. "It should have been discovered long ago." The video continued spreading. People from other countries watched it too. Airlines in Europe and Asia started reviewing their own rules and training programs. Naomi used her voice to help others. At a press conference, she said, "What happened to me happens to many people who can't record it or don't have money or power to fight back. I want to make sure this never happens again." The airline stock price dropped 12% in 3 days. Investors were scared. People on social media began organizing boycotts. Emily couldn't find another job. No airline wanted to hire her anymore. "No company wants that risk," said recruiter Dana Daniels. "This kind of discrimination is a legal and moral danger." The Federal Aviation Administration, the government agency that oversees airlines, started its own investigation. They checked all passenger complaints and training records. Naomi's lawyers expanded the lawsuit to include federal civil rights violations. Soon, the NAACP, ACLU, and other civil rights groups joined in to help. "This case will set new rules for fairness in travel," said NAACP lawyer Elaine Harris. Congress got involved too. Members from the House Transportation Committee said they would hold hearings about discrimination in airlines. Naomi agreed to testify before them. Meanwhile, the airline began making big changes. Monthly diversity classes for all employees. Anonymous reporting systems for discrimination. More diverse hiring for management jobs. "We're rebuilding our company from the inside out," said CEO Richard Daniels on live television. "This incident showed us our deep failures. Now we're fixing them." Emily tried to speak on local news to explain herself. "I'm not racist," she said tearfully. "I just made bad choices when I was stressed." But people online didn't believe her. They created a new hashtag. #AccountabilityNotExcuses. Many shared their own stories about unfair treatment. Aviation magazines wrote long stories about the incident. Experts discussed how to prevent this in the future. Naomi decided to use her settlement money for good. She created the Carter Foundation for Transportation Equity. It helps travelers who face discrimination and gives them legal support. "We're turning pain into progress," she said. Airline companies everywhere started holding emergency meetings. They wanted to learn from what happened. Naomi was invited to speak at many of them. She shared ideas on how to make company cultures kinder and more fair. Her story was even turned into a Harvard Business School case study about crisis management and social media accountability. Emily's personal life grew harder. Her friends stopped talking to her. Her family felt embarrassed. Her children faced bullying at school. She couldn't find a new job. 6 months later, things began to change for the better at the airline. Passenger satisfaction among travelers of color rose by 43%. Employees treated people with more respect. The secret reporting system made workers more accountable. Naomi's powerful testimony in Congress helped create a new law, the Carter Act. It required all airlines to have stronger anti-discrimination training and reporting systems. "One moment of courage can change everything," Naomi said at the hearing. Emily eventually found work at a small fast food restaurant. Her aviation career was gone forever. The viral video continued to be shown as a warning to others. The lawsuit, rumored to be worth over $2 million, set an example that airlines must take responsibility for employee discrimination. 1 year later, Naomi Carter stood on a big stage at the National Civil Rights Conference. The room was packed. She spoke with calm strength. "That day on Flight 1847, I had a choice," she said. "I could have stayed quiet and been thankful just for my own comfort. But I spoke up, not just for me, but for everyone who faces the same pain and can't speak out." The Carter Foundation had already helped more than 300 travelers in 1 year. They created a phone app where people could report discrimination. The reports showed that Naomi's story was not rare. It was part of a much bigger problem. Airlines all over the world changed their policies. Workers took real-life training lessons. Anonymous reports exposed hidden problems. Change happens when ordinary people choose courage, Naomi told the crowd. The passengers who filmed the video, the co-workers who told the truth, and the officers who stayed fair, they all chose to do the right thing. Because of the incident, Naomi's own company, Carter Aerospace, delayed its merger by 1 day. But that delay ended up helping them. The company's focus on fairness attracted over $1 billion in new business contracts. Megan Cole, now the youngest senior flight attendant in the airline, said, "Watching Miss Carter stay calm while facing hate taught me that true strength is doing what's right, even when it's hard." Airlines reported big improvements. There were more employees of color in leadership. Emily's story was now used in training programs as a warning about what happens when personal bias leads to unfair treatment. Naomi said, "I don't enjoy anyone's downfall, but I do believe in accountability." Emily's story reminds us that actions have consequences. The video became part of corporate and school training programs around the world. It taught people how technology can expose hate and also help fix it. Congress later passed another law, the Transportation Equity Act, to make sure all travel industries followed strong anti-discrimination rules. It passed with support from both parties. Policy change happens when one story shines a light on a big problem, Naomi said proudly. She began speaking at colleges. Students asked her, "How did you stay calm during that painful moment?" She smiled. "Being strong doesn't mean you never feel angry or sad," she said. "It means choosing your response wisely. What you do when things go wrong shows who you really are." The Carter Foundation started giving college scholarships to 50 students from underrepresented communities who wanted to study aviation and aerospace. They promised to continue spreading fairness and kindness in their future jobs. Other countries copied Naomi's ideas too. Airlines in Europe, Asia, and Africa started using the Carter model for equality. "Justice isn't just for one nation," Naomi said. "It's a human value shared by everyone." Naomi often said, "One person's hate, when faced with courage and kindness, can start a wave of good change." She still travels often. Many flight attendants recognize her and say, "Miss Carter, thank you for making our workplace better." She smiles and says, "That day, I thought I was just flying to a meeting. I didn't know I was helping to change the world." When she finished her speech at the conference, the audience stood and clapped for a long time. Naomi's story showed that one brave act can turn pain into progress and make the world fairer, kinder, and more just for everyone. If this story moved you, please subscribe for more kind and powerful stories. Watch our next video for another unforgettable journey. And share this story with someone who needs it today.